Welcome back to the Dirge of Officer Superstar, where we have just finished talking to the deserter, and Cuno and I both... Oh, was that a thought? What was that? Cuno and I have both agreed... Oh no, I right-clicked and that shows up that weird white thing like this. Anyway, so Cuno and I have both agreed that we want to explore the rest of the island before we try to extract a... before we try to extract a confession from the deserter, because honestly, it seems a little bit too easy. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense that he would shoot Lele. I mean, he might shoot anybody, but I don't know. Can we get over here? No. Can we get to these orbs? Let's see what happens. I clicked on that orb. No, we can't. So we need to figure out how to get in. Can we get to this one? No, we have to figure out how to get in here. Let me see. This is the front door? No, there's a gas can and a bed. I don't know how we get in there. Can we walk around the outside? Let's see. Doesn't really look like it. That's kind of atypical for this game. So let's look around over here. I'm using the WASD keys to move this time. Nothing new on tab. But we are stuck behind a tree. Let me click here. Oh, Superstar's running. I don't want to do that with his injured leg. So I guess we're going to try to go in here, back inside, and we will we'll walk back through here. Actually, okay, let's Superstar stop. Oh, these shadows are so cool. Let's see what task we have here. Extract a confession from the deserter. You need at least 3 examples of proof to show that you have him anyway. There is little point in his resistance. I feel like it would be so strange if he shot Lele. But maybe it'll come to pass that there was more information he had. Let's just double check there's nothing we can do with this. I'm sure there is.
A golden glow animates the console. Faint, like a ghost light. Urgence, over, reads one dial key. Allume reads another.
Ah, shit! It's on! 10 emergency, open!
Okay. Okay, thanks, Cuno. Cuno is really like the comic relief here. Alright, so now we went out here in our dream. Oh, there's an orb. A firing slit. You can't see inside. So we went out here in our dream of Dora, or Dolores Day. It must have been a direct hit to take out such a huge chunk. Nothing on tab. We'll walk to the end of this. Oh, there's a thought. The distant sound of cargo ships. Signal horns echo on the water. I paused there because you could actually hear the horn. I'm not sure if it's going to make it through YouTube's compression or the messed up sound that I sometimes seem to have on here, but I thought I'd give it a try. And... oh, another thought. The reeds sway strangely. No, it's nothing. It would be really cool if I'd given up on the phasmid and then we somehow managed to trip over it. I mean, if I were a phasmid, I would stay on this island because the only person here is the fireman, or the deserter, I guess he's called now. Let's walk to the end, see if a thought pops up. I doubt it will, but yeah, no. Okay, let's keep walking. We'll zoom out, since we have the thought that lets us zoom out 20% more. I'm holding tab this whole time. That's why Cuno's glowing. We can't walk up here, can we? There's the chain to the other side. That bunker. Oh! It looks like we can. The pain in your pelvis makes you wince. Then you continue. Yeah, that's why we're walking. Sorry, Superstar. Let's check out this orb. The inside of the fortress. You make out the console and the blast door. Okay. So maybe we can work our way around to those other orbs that were over there. Can we get to here? Oh, look at that. Looks like we might be able to. And can we click here? Oh, no. Oh, that's just heading back. Okay, is there anything else over here? Looks like no. Although, that might be the orb we saw from out back. So let's take a look. We still have to go down by the chain and at least look at the water that we crossed in our dream. Yes, this is the stuff we saw from out back. Okay, there's this can. Let's see what the orbs are, and then we'll check out the can. A weathered artillery map showing coordinates in the Bay of Revachol. An old medicine cabinet, newly stocked with druamine. Really? Is there stuff in there? Whoa, look at that. Okay, druamine and 20 cents. We'll take all of it, of course, because that's how we are. And we've got an LUM, or LUM, I guess they pronounce it, fuel canister. Okay, we had one of those before. Maybe we need to... Cuno is shooting a finger gun. Maybe we have to fill up the generator even more? Let's see about this bed. Not going to be time to sleep.
There's a rain-soaked mattress on a concrete slab, only half covered by the crumbling roof. At the head of it, double embrasures, firing slits like two eyes in the wall. This is B triple prime on the island, a nest.
Oh, B triple prime. Okay, let's inspect the mattress.
A single-person mattress, modern, civilian use. Brand name, Marjorie. There's a fuel stain on the cover, along with cigarette burns.
Did we get the feeling that the deserter smoked? I mean, we know he has cancer, but I mean, I don't know that he smoked.
And an empty can of beans on the ground next to it, filled to the brim with cigarette butts.
We're going to pick one out of the can. I'm hoping this is just an investigation thing and not Superstar trying to smoke.
The silhouette of a tobacco picker adorns the paper filter. The brand, Tio Moteri. The same rare brand from Land's End before.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. All right, let's inspect the wall.
There's a firing slit in the wall in front of you, like a little window.
Let's touch the concrete.
Quite old and grimy, from years without cleaning by anything other than the rain.
And we'll look through the hole in the concrete. We're going to be able to see
The
the whirling.
springs screech as you lean on the mattress and crane your neck to look out. Trepidation. A tingling feeling in your stomach. A small piece of Martinez coastline opens up in the square in front of you, like a tiny landscape painting. 1 kilometer across the water. The ruins look familiar.
Neat. I wish the speech stuff wasn't here so we could see more. And on the left?
A towering skyscraper, its top floors shaved off by artillery fire. Capeside apartments. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A and 33B.
Not sure if one of these is Martin's apartment. I just don't remember. And on the right?
The red chimney and collapsed back of the 4-story tenement in front of the whirling in rags. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 10. The doomed commercial area.
And of course, right in between the two, the cyan or blue, whatever this is, one is going to point right at Klaji's room, I'm sure.
The box-shaped silhouette of the whirling in rags. Its sloped roof, a tiny fleck of light catches your eye on the rooftop, sunlight reflecting off the upstairs window of Clausia's room.
And there it is.
There, what is? The window.
More than that.
Cuno, with a pair of binoculars, I would be able to see inside the room.
Cuno fucking knew it. This is a sniper's nest, right? Fucking assassin action. Cuno barely understands what's happening, but he likes the shit out of it.
Well, Cuno, I barely understand what's happening too, although I'm probably a little bit ahead of you. I also like the shit out of it. Well, okay, so we figured out where the sniper shot came from. Here we go, determine where the shot came from. So here it is. We went to the island for bullet traces, and we got 70 experience. So we leveled up again. We just leveled up. So now we've got 6 points to spend. And do we have an item? Oh, right, we have the LUM fuel canister. It's worth 48.86. There's still some fuel in this battered canister, a liter or two. The metal looks decades old. The logo of the automotive manufacturer LUM has faded on the side. So maybe we will put more in the generator. I'm not sure. And let's take a quick look at the bed again.
There's a rain-soaked mattress on a concrete slab, only half covered by the crumbling roof. At the head of it, double embrasures, firing slits like two eyes in the wall. This is B triple prime on the island, a nest.
Oh yeah, okay, so nothing new. I'm still, I mean, even if we prove that it was the deserter, I'm still wondering why. It just doesn't make any sense that he would just randomly shoot some dude, and it wasn't like he had a relationship with Lele. I think we need to figure out whose footprints were in the room, the old pinball workshop behind Claudia's room, you know, where the peephole was. And it's, you know, hard to imagine that he would have gotten up there. He's a sick man. And how would he get there without being noticed? I mean, could it be the cook in the whirling? The winch is broken. Rust has eaten what remains of the chain. I mean, the cook certainly had access to it, and we don't know that he does or does not know anything because we don't speak his language. Whoops, I missed that thought. Can we have that again?
A strange feeling looking at the water. Maybe you should just wander off into the sea. Leave it all and walk in.
Let's raise our sight before we ask why.
In the still mirror of the bay, you see Martinez reflected. Tall edifices of ruins reach into the water, like shimmering towers. And the shacks too. Pine trees and motor lorries, upside down. Islets and posts, like stepping stones, lead into the water in front of you. Go. Step in. It's been too long.
I don't really know why Inland Empire would want us to do this, so let's ask why.
Perhaps there's someone there, under the water, waiting for you.
I doubt it.
Where it has always been, in front of the video rental, on the corner, at the crossing.
We're not going to drown ourselves. Come on now.
Smelling of tutti frutti and betrayal.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Maybe you know it's going to hurt.
Yeah, but it's cold.
Yes, cold and still. But love is warm, like the inside of her mouth.
I mean, he misses her desperately, and he wants to be with her, and he would try to win her back if he could, but he's not going to just drown himself like a fool. No.
Yes. No. We're not starting with that. Not now. Not this time. This thought is over.
Thank you for rescuing us there, Volition. We're going to shake our head. So, nothing there. Doesn't seem like there's all that much that we can look at. Let's talk to Cuno.
Talk to Cuno?
No, let's move. Okay, nothing new from Cuno. I am holding tab the whole time. We've walked through all of this. We've walked up there. Not seeing a whole lot of other places we can go. Can we get down here? No, we cannot get down here, so I guess we're going to go back inside. So we're supposed to get 3 pieces of evidence. So we have the one that I suppose is a piece of evidence that that there's a sniper's nest there. Obviously he had a sniper rifle, but he didn't have a scope. It doesn't mean it doesn't mean that the scope wasn't there a short while ago. Let's see if we can put more fuel in the generator. I don't know what that would do, but let's see if we can do it.
This old cylindrical generator waits with its fuel cap open. Makeshift electrical wiring runs out of its side and across the floor.
Okay, so I could try pouring fuel into the tank, or we could hold on to the fuel to put back in Lillian's skiff. Well, let's see if this lets us do it.
The boy helps you out, holding the canister up to the fuel tank as you tilt. Dark brown, viscous fluid pours out, and the room fills with a chemical smell.
Well, that may be a one-way door.
There's a red starter switch on the side of the cylinder and a start rope on the other side. Cuno flicks the switch.
That may also have been there in case we had sold the other canister.
The recoil start wakes the old generator up.
Yeah, this is all
instantly.
repetition.
The machine sputters like an old warhorse before settling down to a rattle.
Yeah, probably we could have put it in the boat, and I messed that up, but oh well.
We're in. We're doing this.
Let's tap on the side.
The tank is far from full, but there should be enough inside to keep it going for a day.
Okay, so that made no difference. So hopefully we didn't need that fuel for the skiff. Let's go out the way we came in, see if there's anything new out there or something maybe that I missed. Doesn't seem like there's all that much to explore, to be honest. Nothing here. Nothing here. Okay, I'm gonna go down to the skiff to see if it would be an option to get back in, and it says, sorry buddy, you're out of fuel. We could also take the pig-headed boat from Cuno.
The skiff is swaying on the waves by the dock.
I'm not returning to the mainland. I guess we're going to find that out later. Let's see if we can do anything. Okay, so Cuno's boat is not lighting up. Let's make sure we've got everything over here. Doesn't seem... Can we walk over here? No, it doesn't seem like we can go anywhere over here. Really at a little bit of a loss. I mean, we can go back to the deserter. Yosef, I believe was his name. Oh, don't run. Don't run. Did I miss something obvious? Do we have 3 pieces of evidence? And I still, why would this guy kill Lele? I just don't get it. Nothing new. We can look at those magazines. I mean, but for what? We can get in the bed. I mean, it's 2 in the afternoon. We're not going to climb into bed just for the sake of climbing into bed. The fuel that we put in, it said would last for about a day. So, I mean, maybe we have to sleep to let it burn out or burn down for some reason. But again, it feels quite contrived. Let's go up here. Did we go up here before? We can see the bed there. Oh yeah, we walked around back here. There's nothing. I mean, is the only thing here the deserter? We've got the dinghy that we saw before. It's deflated. We haven't found the scope. Presumably the scope is somewhere. I guess we'll try talking to him again? I mean... I almost want to walk into the water and see what happens.
Minions of capital. What do you want?
One more time, Mr. Dross. The Colonel, we need to talk about you killing him.
Petty bourgeois law. This is all you care about, right? The only thing in the world for you types.
A drop of blood in the saliva. Tear into him again. Pile it on him.
I mean, we might have it. I wonder what brand of boots you're wearing.
Everything is brands with you individualists. Who cares what brand my shoes are? Sansa? Some shit.
Show me the soles of your shoes, please.
Fucking imbecile.
The old man stretches out his leg. A black and white spiral pattern covers the sole of the worn-out old running shoes on his feet.
The maker is called Sansarique, and the size is 42 to 44.
So that's like something like 11 and a half, or I think in American sizes.
These are not the unusual horizontal pattern soles you saw in the dust on the floor of the hidden room. They do, however, seem to be about the same size.
Wait, maybe it's simpler than that. We're going to try this red check. We better not fail.
Sire, he doesn't have to be wearing them right now.
Why would he be there? Although maybe he was there, peeping through the hole, and that's why he targeted Lele. Although, how would he have gotten in there? People change shoes. It doesn't mean you weren't there, near the room the victim died in, sneaking around.
Racking those brains, are you? Desperate to report something back to your masters? They must have really loved that dead fuck.
They really didn't. He was a shit.
The kid gives you a quick sideways glance and nods to acknowledge. The prints were his. You can see it in those eyes. He can't keep them from flickering, looking for something. The old man stares at his own prints in the ash around the fire. Silent suddenly, some strange process within him. A gush of wind. Seagulls in the distance. More. He's gonna crack, but you need a little more.
Let's do the flowers. Maybells. Behind the victim's window. I saw them growing here, too, and we point at them.
Damn Maybells. The whole island is turning white with them.
He seems tender suddenly, nostalgic even. A strange mood swing.
So many this year, too. The spring is coming. No, it's already here. Wash the filth away.
I haven't seen these flowers anywhere else in Martinez, only here, Mr. Dross.
They blossom on the islets before. We fertilize them with our blood. Resurrection was snow white in May, before they ruined it.
South, the Bay of Martinez is dotted with little freckles of islets, turning green, with white flowers in white snow.
The coast, too, before they piled their containers on top of it, filled with broken, useless trash for fat-fingered bourgeois children to play with.
Bet you've been sneaking around a lot, hidden. Know any secret paths? Cuno knows paths.
We know that you do, Cuno.
I may.
A curious tremor passes his face. A young woman called Claudia. Ring any bells? Flowers like these were behind her window.
Claudia.
You know her, right? She had intimate relations with the victim, the mercenary.
With the victim.
He turns his sight from the whitening field of flowers and falls silent. Then the muscles in his jaw twitch, a spasm.
There is a small tremble, looks like a smile, a crooked smile, yet isn't quite voluntary. He's about to burst. Almost, but you need one more, just one, or maybe two.
We've done the ballistics. Pointing to the tower, we say the shot came from this island.
I saw you poking around there, looking for evidence. You're damn diligent when it comes to dead fascies. Did you like the view?
He's practically admitting to it.
It's the best uninterrupted line of sight into that window in all of Martinez.
Because it's a sniper's nest, you stupid fuck. Radio Gosh is right. You have worms in your brain.
Another sudden twitch, then one more in his right eye.
Leave no stone unturned. Get him on what matters most.
We need to find the scope? I mean, we could do this, but what do you mean I don't need your cooperation? Get him on what matters most. There's something we're missing. Okay, let's back off for a moment. Tell me this.
You're lost, Dwat. You're lost.
Yeah, we are. I'm going to look around a little bit more because I feel like there's something I'm missing. That's it for now. Stay put.
Minions of capital. What do you want?
We need to talk about your killing him.
Petty bourgeois law.
Yeah, we've heard it all before.
This is all you care about, right? The only thing in the world for you types.
A drop of blood in the saliva.
I'm not actually really keen to arrest you, you
Tear
butthead.
into him again. Pile it on him.
Okay, I don't need your cooperation. I've got this, showing him the Triangong 446.
Got nothing to say about that boomstick, huh? You choking? That's the stick that did it.
Yes, it's a real gun. Not like your little musketeer pistols. I've seen you prance around with those, jumping hoops for the liberals. You look like imbeciles. Why don't you ask them to give you real weapons? Going against automatic rifles with these toy guns. Of course you got those boys killed.
Damn, he saw you. He's watched it happen.
Yeah, so he was watching everything that went on outside the whirling.
He would have a good view of the tribunal from here. It's not just empty boasting. So he saw you. Okay. So what? Don't let it divert you.
No, I think actually Superstar would let it divert him because he's still proving himself to himself. We saved a lot of them. Their leader Titus. We handled that situation.
You didn't handle anything. I watched it happen. You let those murderers rip right into them. Got most of them killed. Even the fat one.
It's true, we did. We also took a point of morale damage, and I healed it because I want volition as high as possible.
None of those people mean anything to you. The vultures feed on this city, and you prepare the meal for them.
You're getting diverted. Push the gun. Only the gun matters.
All right, Rhetoric. So stop squirming, Mr. Dross. I have the murder weapon.
You let them all die. Pranced around. Let your little friend be shot too. I didn't get a good look at that. Tell me, Did he bleed out?
Yeah, there's no way he's going to pass this up. Don't talk to me about Kim.
I know what it feels like. I lost people because I was weak too.
Shut up. I'm calling it. I have the murder weapon.
Who are you trying to prove this to, huh? Your friend? He's not here. He's dead, isn't he?
No, he's not dead. He's in the hospital.
The world will rejoice when he dies. One fascia less.
He hisses, then glances into the reeds and twitches suddenly.
You know who he was. A coalition-trained murderer. Armored and armed. He wasn't human. The blunt end of a hammer. Dripping with blood.
Oh, so he knew him pretty well. You know what? He was a killer, but he was still under the protection of the law.
Beating us to the ground. Moaning with joy. You hounds get so thorough when a company-trained killer dies. I haven't seen you on this coast for 40 years. You know, maybe I should have killed one sooner.
Yeah, maybe. I think he also just admitted to it.
Got your attention. Now you stop beating druggies and prostitutes in your basement. Now you come to investigate. Not when they die by the hundreds.
This is it. Shot him. Shot him. Say shot him, not killed him.
So you shot him.
Oh, the inhumanity. One paramilitary less in Revachol.
You can almost see him squeeze a tear out of his eye. His fists begin to tremble from anger. Let's just nod and see if he keeps confessing.
I had them in my sights. Both of them. Him and the whore. I was breathing with them, in phase, and I pulled the trigger and flew on the air until I landed in his mouth.
He begins to smile.
I didn't think I had a shot like that in me anymore. I did. I saw him kneel there with his mouth full of death, and that stupid look on his face. And his dick still in her.
Then what?
Nothing. I went to sleep. Next morning there were Maybells everywhere. The world was white, or what's left of it anyway. My last spring here. I knew the fascists would come to avenge their own. And so they did.
So we're just getting maximum skill points here. I don't even know if they're useful anymore.
Fucking hell.
The kid looks at him for 1, maybe 2 seconds, breathing heavy with excitement. We're not Super Cop, and we're not Sorry Cop. In fact, we can go check. Here we are. Superstar Cop, maybe, 21. We're barely Sorry Cop. We're mostly communist. And also, by the way, we only killed 1 more person, not 2. And we are on the good cop side, I guess. I'm still assuming a negative number would be bad cop. So I think we're going to say, do you understand you're confessing to a murder? To a police officer?
Yes.
Quick, a motive. While the iron is still hot, get one out of him.
Yeah, I want this. Wait, motive? Why?
He could say he was taking a fall for someone. Disoriented, tortured. It's useless in court without a motive. Don't mess this up.
I will try not to, and we actually have a task to extract a motive.
Coax it out of him. He's still warm. They were fucking.
One more thing. Why were you looking at them that night?
I'm always looking.
He cocks his head to the side, then turns his eyes to the city. Another tremor passes his right side, lower in intensity.
You always creeping on people through your scope like that?
Cuno squints his eyes.
A rifle scope has the best magnification.
Helps him see all the shit.
And if you don't like what you see,
If it's part of the shit you see?
then you pull the trigger.
Yes. Think of it as a form of critique.
He will not stop now. These dialectical materialist types never do. Exploit it.
I guess we will.
You got him going. Connect every little piece now. Wrap this up like a gift. Start with when he first saw him. It will give him a chance to ramble.
When did you first see the deceased?
3 weeks ago, when the rich hag came in on her galley. Her honor guard came in tow.
Joyce. He means Joyce.
By that you mean Joyce Messier, the Wild Pines rep.
Wrinkled up whore.
What is it with these whores and pederasts? Aren't you a communist?
Black sexual morals are a bourgeois ploy. As to pederasty, the party legalized it in '04. My party, not your liberal masters. So don't you sermonize me, you racist shithole. It's still bourgeois when the bourgeois does it, fiddling with their sexual organs.
I don't know how I feel about this character. I have a whole bad taste in my mouth about this one.
And anger, too, in addition to loneliness.
Moving on, the victim arrived sometime after her.
They moved into a deserted apartment above the roundabout. Radio equipment out for all to see. Reactionary radio playing, sloppy and drunk. I've seen their kind during the landing. Those Occidental and Mest phalangs weren't conscripts. Boys like us. They were whites. All they know is to destroy and hurt.
Whites?
Barely alive. They like to kill while they're on their drugs. After the landing, in the burning years, I would take shots at them. End them. The worst ones, if I had a bullet to spare.
I want to say, this guy makes no sense. I don't know. I don't know what to make of this.
I could see they've returned now to show their real face. The face they don't dare show their bourgeois voters back on Monday with their families and polyester clothes.
What specifically did you not like about what you saw the night of the murder?
Them fucking. I didn't like that.
So you were jealous?
Jealousy is a reactionary concept. I didn't like the Reaver enjoying himself, drugged out, soothed in the arms of a young woman. I wanted him to die so he could not enjoy life anymore. And I wanted to see his head explode. That too. She should know better than to hold a child murderer between her thighs. I knew he'd be there for one more second, writhing. That's all it takes for the bullet to reach his head. Now that I think of it, I wasn't aiming for his mouth. I wanted his brains to spill out on her. But you can't have everything.
Wow. Just wow.
This man has seen past her, like you did. And now he longs to see her covered in blood.
How long had you been watching her?
Since she came to Martinez, I saw her sneaking in the reeds early in the morning, behind the Feld building. It was dark, still winter. She didn't have her skimpy outfit on then, just a spot in the night, moving,
What was she doing there?
hiding something in the water. She had a fag after she'd done it. I was up in the ruins there. She couldn't see me, but I could see her, smoking. She was nervous, but not scared.
What do you think she hid there?
Her passport and tickets to Villiers. And from there to Cachet Brut.
Oh, so he filched it, and maybe that left her stuck here.
In the free state of Seminine, hidden away at the edge of the earth, near the Pale.
Some kind of hidden container on the coast? You looked into it?
Yes, after she'd gone. It was a submersible. Well made, actually.
Did you take the documents?
No, I put them back. Why would I take them? I'm not going to phone. Oh, I mean...
He's confused on that last bit. Moving on, did you continue watching her after this?
I did. She had a face like an archipelago with those birthmarks, and a body hard and lean and bruised all over, black and yellow. I could see she's taken a beating. I could see who she was, too. A spook, on the run. Revershal's the cloaca of capital now. All the bagmen and arms dealers end up here to do drugs and have sex like animals.
The bruises. Can you make that out in a scope?
And the bruises? You could see her bruises through the scope of a rifle?
You can't see that through a scope. It's just a blur there.
Yeah, he was actually in the whirling somehow. Okay, so before we ask this question, we're going to say, you had feelings for that woman.
There's nothing to hold on to. Only this. It's not enough.
The coals of his eyes glisten suddenly, like stones dripping with water. Is he crying?
Man needs to feel something else. In this fight, it helps if you have your eye on something there. It's weakness, I know.
There have been others?
Yes, over the years. It's not unproletarian to feel something.
Is that why you left the dried flowers behind her window?
No,
He starts to shake his head again, a sunflower on a withered stalk. Why then?
I don't really know. I was there one night and she was crying, like a child, in the corner of her room on the floor, like she does sometimes.
When was this?
The day after I killed him.
And you brought her Maybells?
Yes, I don't know why I do the things I do anymore.
He should say nothing, but he's going to say you wanted to console her because he's stuck in his own head thinking about Dora.
Maybe. I told you, I have holes in my brain now. I wouldn't just sit here waiting for you.
A sudden pang of rage.
If you came 10 years ago, I would have killed you.
So we're going to do this reaction speed one. Whether we fail or not, it doesn't matter. We know he was peeping on her. How does he know those minute details about her body?
It quickly comes to you.
The bruises on her body. Any chance you've seen them through a hole in a wall?
Oh, yes. Cutting those drugs of hers into little lines with a knife. Masturbating
You made that hole?
with a clip point knife.
Good for listening in, too. For hearing the moaning and the snorts.
But how did he get in there without anybody noticing? Ever see her through a window on a roof?
Like that, too. Yes. Bending like a bow against the glass.
You've been through the secret route behind the whirling in rags? Those were your footprints there? You just changed your shoes.
I've been through all of Martinez. Every nook and cranny.
And that too.
Yes, that too. The things they did in that little room. What she'd do to feel good. Funny the way light works. You turn it on inside, and it gets so dark out, you can't see a man looking in. I learned that in the 20s, when they were still hunting me. I've seen people do some shit, but...
And he keeps shaking his head.
Those two took the cake.
Yeah, the lightning gets shit going. Speed freaks fucking in the bushes.
This is a great question. This is what I'm wondering about. How did you get in there? The hidden pinball workshop?
I can just walk in there now after a good wash. I told you, they think I'm an antisocial. Closing hour is a good time. The kitchen's empty.
And the door? The steel door in the kitchen? How do you open that?
I got that open a long time ago. Some bourgeois game merchant lived there. I don't know, 15 years ago. He left spare keys all over, and I took one. Then I saw her turn the light on one night in my scope.
I don't know why we're going to ask about it, but let's do it. One more thing, Mr. Dross. The dried flowers on the roof.
What about them?
There, he's already admitted to it. Just ask.
Did you leave the dried Maybells behind her window?
I did. I shouldn't have. It was a mistake.
Why did you?
I was there one night, and she was crying, like a child in the corner of her room, on the floor. I'd never seen her do that before.
Okay, it's a little bit of a repetition. When was this?
The day after I killed him.
And you brought her Maybells.
Yes. I don't know why I do the things I do anymore.
Okay, I'll go through the same path.
Maybe. I told you, I have holes in my brain now. I wouldn't just sit here waiting for you.
A sudden pang of rage.
If you came 10 years ago, I would have killed you.
So that's all the same. But I'll leave it in so you can see what I've been doing when I've been playing. So in conclusion, it wasn't about him. It was about her.
Her.
He repeats, staring at the ashes, then the reeds. There's a twitch in the corner of his eye.
It was about bitches.
We've gotten like 3 skill points in the last few minutes.
Where is she, that Clasier? I haven't seen her there for days.
I'm not at liberty to say.
I know she's gone. Locked up or on the run. She kept staring into the scope, you know. In the end, this last week, at the fort. Like she knew.
Yeah, she definitely knew.
Like she knew I was here. It doesn't matter.
Midtown, across the Bay of Revachol, the oceanic wind washes 40-story towers. Above them, Lusanne's central aerodrome, a cocoon suspended in the sky by a web of suspension wiring, encircled by hybrid aircraft.
Let's look north.
On the platform, a young woman is withdrawing from amphetamines, barbiturates, and alcohol. Yet still she smiles among the crowd, among the great ghosts of the city she's leaving, for another, far south. Smaller, distant, hidden, not like the great chandelier she sees sparkle in the night below her. Streetlights, towers, tenements, and water, and across it a dark strip of ruins, barely visible if she didn't squint her eyes. He knew she knows. She was looking at the island, figuring it out, day by day, cigarette by cigarette.
We can totally get more out of him. He's squealing.
Who knows what he's seen and done over the years? You could get more out of him. He likes talking.
I'm sure he does. He's been alone for 43 years.
Enough. Take him in. Bend his arms behind his back and end this.
That's a very physical instrument type of thing to say. So been looking at anything else you haven't
A
liked?
tragic comedy. Druggies, prostitutes, and rentiers.
A strange little engine seems to fire up in him again. It straightens his back. The familiar put-put-put of hatred.
More specifically?
Specifically, the whole city is a charnel house. Stripped clean and draped in neon. But Martinez is the worst.
Why?
Because of the racists. Everyone is a racist in Martinez. It's their favorite thing to do in the whole world. Listening to race-themed radio shows. In the ruins, in their lorries.
I mean, this is true. I've observed this multiple times through this series, that everybody is racist. And he also is a racist, but maybe he's not, because he hates everybody. And if you're an equal opportunity hater, are you really a bigot?
Pumped full of steroids and Radio Revachol 92. Race this, race that. It's all sanctioned by that Social Democratic Union and the farce of a Social Democrat who runs it.
Mr. Clare?
Yes, the fly larva in his container. He let some nihilistic advertising yuppies erect a statue of Philippe III, a syphilitic murderer, on the town square, to spit on the working class.
All right, let's let him finish, not interrupting him.
Not since the serfs of ancient Pericarnassus has history produced a more inert social class than the Martinez proletariat. The rest of Revachol at least pretends to rebuild. These people still live in ruins. In tents, like animals, like those boom-boom morons on the ice. A pity they didn't drown in that tent of theirs.
He keeps shaking his head with sorrow for the sight he missed. Let's just nod.
The worst of them is the blood-drenched Sucrion on her yacht, licking her lips. The old whore's gone now. Her gun-toting porcelain men are dead. So, actually, no. The worst is that old cock parading around in his uniform, throwing balls all day. It's not enough that the racists and liberals are dancing on our graves. The old loyalist ghouls still parade the ruins too.
Obviously, he's talking about Renee. I guess he didn't clue in that Renee is dead.
Every morning he's there, while the parasites he fought to protect are off in Ozon or Quayamoran or some other island they built their palaces on, feeding on drugs and having sex with their own children.
That's very pleasant. Let's say nothing.
That's all the rich really want. Sex with their own children. Throughout history, even the royal bloodline of the suzerain, it's all just an excuse for them to have sordid sex. At least that old cunt Frisell is now dead.
I don't remember who Frisell is, if we've ever learned. This actually sounds like a plot of pretty much every Crusader Kings 3 game. Let's just nod at him.
We did good when we pushed him under that horse car. If only, in the 30s, those disco whores.
That mumbling you heard was actually ominous mumbling. We can't make it out at all.
The disco whores are too much. Hatred shuts down his brain's language center, leaving only a nonsensical sputter. There was something about a statue and nihilistic advertising agency people might be worth investigating.
Okay, we will, but first, because we care about it. Disco whores?
Whores.
Even that word has to be pushed through his teeth with great force. The rage seethes too hard. There was something about the statue on the roundabout. And syphilis?
Syphilis is a disease Philip III contracted in a whorehouse. The statue is an abomination.
Abomination, huh?
The bacteria entered his brain and made him squander trillions on sparkling wine, cocainum, and monuments of himself. His son, Philip IV, the insane, contracted syphilis in the womb.
That's a pretty terrible fate.
That is technically possible, although Philippe III was not actually syphilitic. He was just mad.
And he still went on to govern Revachol for 25 years. We lost 2 million lives toppling that mode of government. And those grotesque statues, too. Hundreds of them.
But it's still there, although it was rebuilt, right?
What a keen remark. Yes, it is, isn't it? It's still there. Do you know why?
Because cynical advertising yuppies erected a deconstructed version of it.
That's right. Some advertising cockroaches erected a cynical deconstruction of it. We tore it down with honest working-class plastic explosives. And there it is again.
Yep, I knew that, because sometimes I listen and remember.
Art is a bourgeois establishment. It's an affront to humanity. Every gallery should be bulldozed, and the artists should all be given 30 years of hard labor in Yekokata.
Yekokata! Isn't that what Egghead would shout? This guy truly is an equal opportunity hater. He really hates absolutely everyone. You mentioned the Union is social democratic, and Mr. Clare is a farce of a social democrat.
Another hideous disappointment. Unions are the real enemy. The true enemy of the proletariat. Placating the masses.
Disappointment. So personal. He displays a familiarity with the Union's top brass.
Who's a disappointment, Everett Clare or the whole system?
That deformed toad? I wouldn't expect him to wipe his own ass. I mean, the brains of the operation. The smart one.
Doesn't Everett run the Union?
That mobster toad couldn't run a shithouse. He has no political education. His twin, Edgar Clare, that one's been to one of those East Revachol universities. He talks a big game about uprising and alienation and so on.
He's been sweet-talked by this Edgar. They must have met in person for such animosity to have developed.
Oh, I see. We're not the first people you've met from the city, are we?
You can't live alone.
The Clears know everything about Martinez. Of course they know him too. Maybe they asked him to. Don't go straight for the kill. Exhaust everything else first. Soften him up.
Have you approached them?
I haven't approached anyone. I hid. It was Edgar who came to me.
How did he know you were here?
He didn't just stumble in like an oaf. He figured it out. Some kids told him about a monster on the island. I told you, he has brains.
And he points to the path leading to the tower.
Stepped right off the boat and walked down where you came. I even kept the door open for him. Thought he was a man of the left. Wouldn't rat me out.
See, now it all starts coming together.
I was right about one of those things.
When was this?
20 years ago. Neither of them could walk now, could they? They were less fat then.
20 years ago?
That's around the time the Clares came to power.
Oh, I wonder if they had him kill Everart's predecessor, that woman. What did you talk about?
Edgar did the talking. Paid his respects like I were a fossil in a uniform. Offered platitudes about the struggle. Flaunted his pink degree. Even quoted Marzoff. Never trust a social democrat who quotes Marzoff. Oh, and charity too. They love their charity. Offered me blankets and social housing. I still have the gas cooker he brought.
And he let you just be here?
Let me be here? The ZOC is an unlawful successor of the Commune of Revachol. We took this fortification from the Loyalists. Even the Clares understand this.
They let him be here. Understanding was a courtesy. But why such a courtesy?
This is our only choice left, and I am very curious about it. Mr. Dross, did you kill the Cornell mercenary for the Clares to incite a riot?
You know why I killed that fucker, Dwat. As to Edgar, I'm not doing anything for that swine again.
Aha, again. What have you done for him before?
Tried teaching him some Marzovian socioeconomics. They didn't stick. We parted ways.
Okay, he didn't do the hanged man for them, but he's insinuating something. There is more here. You can feel it. He was not outright lying, but almost.
It's a 58% logic check. I'd be willing to put points into that, and we definitely have some clothing we could put on. But if you see that +2 there, you talked to Everard about the previous forewoman, so this is what I was hypothesizing. I think he shot them. He shot her for them. Let's finish this out. By the cock parading in his colorful uniform, you mean Renee?
Every fucking morning for 34 years. Throwing that ball. One ball against the other. I've always loathed that game. That is not a working class game. I don't care what they say on Radio June. Royalist ghouls played like it was life itself. Click, clack across the water each day. And that uniform, like a parrot plumage. I won't even mention that he's a traitor to his race. A Patank maniac race traitor.
All right, let's just nod. We're not going to affirm or refute him.
I remember him. I remember him from La Noce. Not him personally, his make and model. There were tens of thousands of them. I thought we took them all out before the liberals came to their rescue. We missed one.
Apparently.
That one.
With his shaky finger, he points to the city toward the crater near the plaza where a lonely pine tree stands.
There doesn't seem to be a single person under the pine today. Not even Gaston. Alone.
We're just going to keep on nodding.
Fat and plump, like a pheasant, just begging to be popped off. Please, Mr. Dross, shoot me.
He whispers with such predatory hunger. It borders on longing.
So you'd like to kill him?
Not yet. I like to look at him strut around, place the crosshair on his medals, right on his face, and just fiddle the trigger. Think about it. Let the bomb melt in my mouth.
Sometimes Cuno likes to look at the baggie before he does it. Just look at that fat baggie.
Kuno's desperately trying to relate to this guy, which I'm not sure is such a smart idea.
He is a juicy bonbon, that one. A real treat for the black day, the blackest. When I put that gun in my own mouth, I think, no, don't waste it. Put this lead in that cock, Renee. For the boys he killed, And then I look at him throw those balls, and I suddenly feel better. I even hid one bullet, so I'd always have one for him. Haven't seen him around lately, strutting around. Must be down with arthritis. I hope it hurts like hell. I hope he sweats blood.
Hearing it may destabilize him. You sure you've gotten everything from him?
I think it'll actually piss Mr. Dross off to know that Rene lived till the end of his days and just died of old age, so let's do it. Rene is dead. He died of old age a couple of days ago.
No.
Yep, he sure did.
I waited too long. I waited too long, and now he's dead?
Yeah, that's right.
If he really wanted to kill him so bad, he would have done. There must have been 1,000 black days on these islands. His health ailing.
I wonder if he saw sort of a kindred spirit, someone left out of everybody around him. So you cared about him.
All human beings care about each other. I cared for seeing his head explode. Now, God damn this world.
Oh, you had 1,000 chances to kill him.
And I blew them all. What does it matter now? He's gone. Ancient dust.
Are you okay, Mr. Dross, to go on?
You think I haven't seen people die? It's all I've seen them do. Fuck and die. All the other plans we had. To love. To colonize the Pale. It's all fucked.
He's not okay. This is just another black day in a row of black days. Something strange is keeping him together, making him endure.
So I'm going to go pump up logic with equipment and maybe a point. I'm glad we talked about this. Now,
Glad we talked about what?
that's it for now, old man. Stay put. We'll only be a moment while we change our clothes. We're going to do it right in front of you, too. Okay, so I changed our clothes a little bit, and so now we have 3 more points of logic from equipment, and I spent a point because we had a whole bunch. So now we're going to talk to Mr. Dross again.
The old man stares despondently at the logs. It's like he's forgotten you're there.
I want to ask you again about the people you don't like.
His lip curls into a sneer at the memory.
Okay, here we go. We're now at 97% with our 9 logic. What was the deal between him and Edgar?
The connection comes to you like a splash of cold water. Dark, cold water.
Yeah, it came to me immediately. We just needed to make sure that Superstar could figure it out. 20 years ago, when you met Edgar, the Clares didn't run the Union yet, did they?
Hey.
He acknowledges it. Here we go. A twist behind the dark bend.
Who did?
That bourgeois cow. Tiffin Holly was her name. Licked the rich man's hand every time he came to town. Never seen a labor leader so hot on mutual cooperation. And money. She liked that too. That Holly was a real bridge builder and a deal maker.
He says, his eyes glistening suddenly with hatred.
Bordering on sentimentality, it drips out of him. Tempered by something familiar to you. A familiar rage.
She was also a woman, wasn't she? Like that Klaja.
She was. And she was real soft on those money men. Had a Barbara Muscova bag over her shoulder that she liked to bring to work.
I assume this is some high-end designer. And then she just disappeared.
Called in, they say. On the eve of battle. Ran away. Vanished like a piss stain.
He squints and smiles at the black logs.
No, that's not quite it, is it?
But did she? They say it was her daughter who called in for her. That wasn't her daughter, was it?
No, I guess it was not.
Edgar had someone make the call. Why is that, Mr. Dross?
She couldn't make the call herself.
No, of course she couldn't.
Here it is. The bend in the river.
And why would that be, Mr. Dross?
Because she was dead.
Of course she was.
Just say nothing.
Let's say nothing.
The cow caught a bullet in her right lung. Fell into the canal grasping her tit and drowned. Or bled. Hard to say. It was a sloppy job. And a moving target. She was going home. Waddling. Dressed in yellow. Drunk like she often was. The ruins are black around her, and she had a yellow leather bag under her arm. She tried to cross the canal, heading home to Grand Couronne or Betancourt, someplace like that, where they build those new bâtiments for the people who flourish in the hell around her and the ruins.
So we're going to ask you killed her because we want him to admit it. So you killed her.
Someone did. Or maybe the cow just fell. The past is blurry. All I know is...
Another big spike of rage, different from the one he has for her.
nothing changed. Not in the material base, not in the hegemony. There was no uprising. Just words. The Union fizzled, sogged. Nothing came of it. Nothing.
Yeah, everything just repeats itself, I guess.
Slippery fuck didn't keep his word.
Cuno's mouth is agape.
Now that sounds like you want me to testify in your charade of law. My days are numbered. Let them rot away in a moral intern cell. I've said all I will.
But you did do it.
I saw it happen, and I liked it. That's all I have to say. I didn't live and fight for 40 years to end up as a collaborationist. I've heard it on Channel 8, 40 AM, Radio Revachol, late night. Everyone is a blobber in this world. Everyone betrays everyone. They're all already locked up for betrayal. The best ones, the ones with heart, were slaughtered, trampled.
Yeah, good guys finish last, I guess. So we completed the secret task of what happened to the previous forewoman.
The same old freezing hatred.
Yeah, okay. So I'm glad we talked about this. Now,
Glad we talked about what?
let's do it. Josef Leonovich Drost, you are under arrest for the murder of Ellis Courtenaire.
What? But you said I would be taken to the...
This terror, the sum of all the uncontrollable movements and mood swings he's been exhibiting.
So he really wanted to get help with his health? It didn't strike me that he did.
The wind picks up. The silence on the water is broken all around you. Little shivers of waves appear.
I'm not sure how I feel about this, but I guess Superstar does want to solve the case, and it's too late to turn back now. Your Wayfarer rights have been suspended. Information provided to the officer on the scene will be used against you by the prosecution. You will be provided legal counsel within 1 week and must face court in 44 days.
Do you understand?
Thank you, Cuno. Do you understand, sir?
No, I don't want to. I have to stay here.
He looks at the reeds, eyes full of terror.
He's sweating. Beads are forming on his forehead.
This is not the route I necessarily wanted to go, but this is what we're doing.
We don't need your permission. We do need to talk about that boat, though. How are we going to take him?
Does the boat have room for 3?
Yeah, no. Only 2 are going to fit in that fucker. I guess you could take him back, but...
He squints, realizing something.
Wait, but then who watches over him while you're coming back?
But then who watches him there while I come back for you?
Fuck. It's the 3 piggies and a boat problem.
Oh, it's the 3 piggies and a boat problem.
What is this farce? This is a fucking farce. I can't.
Lillian, you could ask her.
Let's try this perception check. With 72% chance, we goddamn better make it. Wait.
You thought you heard something, but it's just the reeds.
Oh, God damn it. Now I'll never know. It could have been the fucking phasmid. God damn it.
Maybe we could all fit in there.
We could all fit in the little boat?
Yeah, actually, no. It would go down.
Maybe I could just ask that netpicker woman to watch him.
Watch this killer.
This fucking world. This world. What is this?
I am so frustrated. 72%.
Below the confusion and rage, a fit of jamais vu like yours. The thought passes. More pressing matters take its place.
You could come back for me once you've taken him to the precinct? We're going to say that to Cuno? I don't think so. Cuno is not a real cop. I could come back for you once I've taken him to the precinct.
How about the Cuno comes back for you?
I can't let a kid go and take a murder suspect to the station.
This fucking world. What are you talking about? Is this us?
Cold from the east.
This is a sudden gush of wind.
Your skin is crawling suddenly.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's happening. We will find out what's happening next time, and trust me, you want to know. As Seling would say, it's so cool. Thank you very much for continuing on this journey with Superstar and me. I love you very much. Please remember to have your pets spayed or neutered.